There is a line often attributed to the Stoics that most people misunderstand. It is not about patience. It is not about waiting. It is about endings. Every meaningful beginning is born only after something else is allowed to die. Let me be clear from the start. This is not about improvement. This is not about becoming slightly better. This is about separation. In 1 week, you can become someone who no longer speaks, thinks, reacts, or tolerates life the way you used to. Not because time passed but because you made a decision and honored it without negotiation. Stoicism was never designed to comfort you. It was designed to strip you of illusion. To remove weakness disguised as personality. To expose the cost of your words, your habits, and your daily choices. Most people live their entire lives repeating patterns they did not consciously choose. They speak without intention. They react without restraint. They explain themselves without necessity. And then they wonder why they are not respected by others or by themselves. If nothing changes in how you speak, decide, and act, then nothing changes in who you are. Time does not transform character. Discipline does. This week is not symbolic. It is structural. By the end of it, you will either cross a line you cannot return from or you will retreat back into familiarity. There is no neutral outcome. Stay with this until the end. Not for motivation but for clarity. Because once clarity arrives, excuses no longer survive. Before anything can be built, something must be dismantled. And what must be dismantled first is not your habits, it is the identity you keep protecting. The Stoics understood something modern thinking avoids. You are not trapped by circumstance. You are maintained by tolerance. Every behavior you allow reinforces who you believe you are allowed to be. Every word you speak without discipline trains others how to treat you. Every excuse you repeat becomes a structure your life begins to obey. Weakness is rarely loud. It is subtle. It hides in language. In explanations. In justifications. In phrases that soften responsibility. If you pay attention to how you speak, you will see your character exposed in real time. The Stoics believed speech was never neutral. It is either strengthening the self or dissolving it. To become unrecognizable, you must first stop negotiating with the version of yourself that survives through comfort. Not hates itself but protects itself. This phase requires brutal honesty, not emotional release. There is no benefit in guilt. There is only benefit in recognition. Ask yourself without drama. What do I tolerate that costs me respect? What behaviors have I renamed instead of removed? What words do I use to escape accountability? The moment you see these patterns clearly, something important happens. You realize the old identity is not powerful, it is familiar. And familiarity is not loyalty. It is inertia. Here is the rule. What you continue to tolerate becomes your identity. If you want a different identity, tolerance must end. This is the moment the old self stops being defended. Not attacked, dismissed. No anger. No emotion. Just withdrawal of permission. You do not improve this version of yourself. You outgrow it. The Stoics did not separate the body from the mind. They understood that a mind that avoids physical discomfort will always invent intellectual excuses. A body trained to endure does not argue with effort. A body accustomed to ease negotiates every demand. This phase is not about appearance. It is about authority. Authority over impulse. Authority over hesitation. Authority over resistance. When the body is disciplined, the mind follows structure instead of emotion. That is why Stoic practice included voluntary hardship not as punishment, but as calibration. Discomfort removes illusion. It shows you what is real. It exposes where your limits are imagined rather than actual. This week, the body is no longer asked what it prefers. It is instructed. Consistency matters more than intensity because consistency teaches obedience. Intensity without structure teaches rebellion. When you move with intention, breathe with control, and hold posture with awareness, something subtle shifts. You stop identifying as fragile. You stop narrating effort as suffering. You learn a simple truth. Discomfort does not damage you. Avoidance does. The body becomes the first proof that you are no longer governed by impulse. And proof is what identity is built on, not intention. Stoicism begins in one place, perception. Events do not weaken you. Interpretation does. Most people believe their reactions are personality traits. The Stoics rejected this completely. Reaction is a habit. And habits can be trained. Your internal dialogue is not harmless. It is rehearsal. Every repeated thought becomes behavior. Every repeated behavior becomes identity. If your language is careless, your thinking will be careless. If your language is disciplined, clarity follows. To reprogram the mind, you must stop indulging in commentary. Not everything needs narration. Not every discomfort needs interpretation. Silence is not suppression, it is control. The Stoic approach is simple but unforgiving. If something is within your control, responsibility is absolute. If it is not, emotional investment is wasted. This distinction alone removes anxiety at the root. Anxiety survives on imagined responsibility for what cannot be controlled. When perception changes, urgency becomes focused instead of frantic. You stop reacting to noise and start responding to reality. Here is a truth worth holding. A disciplined mind does not eliminate emotion, it decides which emotions earn attention. This is not suppression. It is hierarchy. When you control your attention, you control your identity. People do not respond to what you say first. They respond to how settled you are in yourself. Presence is not charisma. It is coherence. When your words align with restraint, posture, and timing, authority becomes quiet but unmistakable. The Stoics valued measured speech because excess language signals uncertainty. Silence used correctly creates gravity. Speech used deliberately creates weight. This phase is about removing leakage. Nervous explanations. Unnecessary clarification. Apologies that are not owed. Speech that tries to be liked instead of respected. When your inner state stabilizes, your external presence follows naturally. You no longer rush to fill space. You no longer perform certainty. You embody it. Presence is the byproduct of self-command. And self-command cannot be faked for long. Most people fail here. Not because they lack information but because they delay embodiment. The Stoics did not admire thought without action. They considered it incomplete. Execution is not intensity. It is immediacy. When you decide, act. When you hesitate, clarity decays. Momentum is not created by perfection. It is created by movement. And movement reshapes identity faster than reflection ever will. Every completed action reinforces the belief that you are someone who follows through. That belief compounds. Hesitation teaches the opposite. This phase removes the luxury of waiting to feel ready. Readiness is created through engagement, not contemplation. You act because alignment matters more than comfort. And once action becomes your default, confidence stops being something you seek. It becomes something others observe. Motivation is unreliable. The Stoics knew this. They built lives around structure, not emotion. Systems reduce choice. And reducing choice preserves energy. When discipline becomes automatic, identity stabilizes. You no longer debate whether to act in alignment. You simply do. Structure is not rigidity. It is protection against regression. This phase ensures that what was built in effort does not collapse under convenience. Your environment, routines, and boundaries now reflect the person you are becoming, not the one you were. Order is not restriction. It is freedom from chaos. By now, Something has shifted. Not externally, internally. You no longer need reinforcement. You no longer seek permission. You recognize patterns before they reform. This is where most people fail, by assuming the work is done. Stoicism teaches the opposite. Identity is maintained, not achieved. From this point forward, every action either reinforces the new identity or feeds the old one. There is no neutral behavior. You now understand the cost of your words, the weight of your decisions, the consequences of tolerance. And that understanding cannot be undone. Here is the final truth you must carry forward. You do not become unrecognizable by changing your life. You change your life by becoming unrecognizable. This is the line. Step forward or return to what you now clearly see. There is no third option.